Thank you for showing up on Wednesday morning bright and early. My name is Vince Bruno. I help organize 1 Million Cups, and you should see me here every week if you show up. Anybody here for the very first time? Never been? Welcome. Thank you for showing up today. We got a new person. Quick announcements before we get started. Number one, Key Start applications are due tomorrow. So if you want a shot at $5,000, if you have a business idea that you think can go head-to-head with some other business ideas and beat them or come very close and you can have a good time anyway, get your applications in by tomorrow. Also tomorrow is Third Thursdays, which are coming back. Third Thursdays is an open networking platform, and we meet at a different location on the third Thursday of every month, and it highlights one business per month. Tomorrow it is at Brasky's, way up on the north end of town. And highlighting DevBrite. So show up to that, meet some new people, network around. It is St. Patrick's Day. They might have green beer. That's a question? I don't know.
Bring everything.
Today, we are going to learn about ShopAffect from Austin Augsburger, who hails from Washington, drove all the way over here today, so cut him some slack for that, right? So please give your attention to Austin. He's got 6 minutes. He's on the clock.
All right. First of all, thanks for everybody coming out here. Thanks for setting it up. Everybody who set up 1 Million Cups and a Buzz Coffee for giving us the venue. So ShopAffect, you're just going to get a quick crash course. It's a pretty simple idea, though. I mean, it's called ShopAffect. Does anybody have an idea what that could possibly mean?
Shopping. And affecting.
Oh, done. Yep. All right. So we can move on now. So we know the business model. I can tell you why. So I've always had a passion to kind of help people and inspire people to do something, to take action, to really just find what they want to do and go get it done. After college, I had a chance to spend some time in South Africa, where I toured around the country and just got to meet a lot of people. And for example, those are two ladies that make fair trade products, and they sell them to tourists, and just a time to connect with people. Also, while I was there, I spent time going through different parts of the country, saw some pretty rough locations, and I'll just never forget some of the looks on the people's faces of just despair, just feeling that they're not in control. They don't know how they're going to survive another week. They're spending all their time trying to find food and resources to provide for their family. And that's a big idea I took out of it when I came back, is how do I give these people their time back, right? How do I let these people have time to build relationships, to build a community, to really help themselves? And so after a while, I came up with the idea of ShopAffect, which kind of is a marketplace where we can create a sustainable impact utilizing everyday actions. So this is just making purchases, deciding to purchase here, and every time you do make a purchase, something happens. Somebody's life is affected. And so the vision and action, so the vision of ShopAffect is a world in which the basic needs of every individual are met. And while that's an extremely lofty goal, I look at it on an individual basis. So each person that does get impacted from anything that we do is truly a reason to celebrate, because they have an opportunity today that they wouldn't have had. And so ShopAffect exists to connect like-minded people together and provide resources for them, because I really believe social change is done at an individual level, and not necessarily something that somebody else should do, but it's really you and I coming together to do something. And so they're kind of the ShopAffect marketplace. What we're going to talk about today is the first iteration of this idea. And this is just kind of a brief overview of the model of ShopAffect.
How many arrows?
Yeah, right. So right, you have a person making a purchase on ShopAffect. So right, they get their package just like any other retail business. ShopAffect makes money. They use it for expenses, and then we also support nonprofits. And then kind of the second leg of this model is where somebody is getting helped every time. And we'll go through, so every purchase you make is truly helping somebody in need. And so this is kind of the ShopAffect impact for December, which is when we launched, the first month of our launch. So there's 5 key areas that we focus on. It's food, water, healthcare, education, and jobs. And there's 2 ways that the impact is done through our marketplace. First being that every product in our marketplace has a quantified tangible give back. So say you buy a granola bar through ShopAffect, that company donates a meal through a nonprofit, and all that's spelled out in the product descriptions and in the website, and there's a lot of research you can do there, or it's very simple. But the other way is that we have a agreement with a nonprofit organization called ACF International, where we have a set up goal for each of our 5 causes, and when a customer buys something on our site and they check out, they select which of those 5 causes they want to support. So for example, if you were to select Cause Hunger and you spent $50 on the site, 10% or $5 of your purchase price would go into the Cause Hunger bucket. And once that hits $45, we give that money to ACF International, and they provide 45 days of nutrition supplement for a child in need. So that's kind of a continuous goal where, and all those goals are on this side as well. And the other side of ShopAffect is GoAffect, which is also pretty similar, but it's like if we have a group of people together that are using ShopAffect and they've made a conscious decision to support somebody else, this community can have an impact together, and GoAffect. And these are initiatives which can be integrated into our everyday life, which is an example, and kind of ShopAffect stems from that. And it's really about changing lives just by living your own life. And just kind of to tie it together, so a GoAffect program is Cards for a Cause. We have some cards here, which you're welcome to take at the end of the presentation. But they're designed and printed by ShopAffect, and the model is buy one, give one. So if you buy a card, then you either get to select send my card where it's needed most, or you can write the name and message that you want to send your free card to, and we will go ahead and send the card for you right away. And how we decide where cards go is at any time you can request a card by emailing cards@shopaffect.com, and you'll get on the list. So when the next person says, send my card where it's needed most, that request will be fulfilled. And kind of in summary, the keys of what makes ShopAffect different are we truly do exist for a third party in a transaction and an individual that we can help together. We have unique partnerships with different vendors that sell through our sites who have tangible quantified impact, and then our nonprofit. We are a transparent business, so everything we do is straightforward and spelled out. And then also we publish a monthly financial report so you can see what percentage of our gross sales go where. GoAffect, the community outreach we briefly touched on. And then inclusion, the world is a really big place and there's a lot of people that need help, and we're willing to help anybody. And now we have time for questions. I know it was really short and brief, and there's a lot to fit in, but feel free. Yes?
Yeah, could you give us an example of some of the products that we could find on your website?
Yeah.
Besides cards, obviously that one. Saw that.
Yeah, so this is the site. It's kind of, so even if this is the homepage, so there's a lot of fair trade products, shoes, food, there's shirts that we sell, there's hygiene products, these are the cards, but really, those are kind of the, if you can read that, health and decor, crafts, cards, footwear, clothing. It's really a broad array of different products that you could buy.
Do you have an initiative whereby a local business that has a product could become part of what you offer?
Not currently. The way that I guess it works for, so in order to have a business where you say that 10% of the purchase price goes here, or I sell this product, if you buy this soap, then we give a soap, you have to enter into a commercial co-venture arrangement, which is a legal agreement nationally and at a state level, where, and in order to update the contract, it's updating legal contracts. So long term, it'd be a good solution to have, but currently we don't have the capability of offering that to businesses. Yes.
That is a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So like, how do you source that? Are you in?
Yeah. So.
We saw the photo of the ladies. So
Yeah.
Do you have just like all relationships with that? I'll let you talk now.
No. Great question. So we work with 7 to 10 different companies who say that they're a one-for-one model. So we don't work with Tom's, but Tom's would be an example. So a company focused on a social initiative where their product has a tangible give back, right? And so we act as a wholesaler between them. And so in that wholesale to retail markup is where we take our the 10% give back from, because we operate with very low overhead as an online business. And then we also, those products I get into the ShopAffect store and ship them out myself. We also have one drop ship company which sources a lot of fair trade goods from around the world. They're based in New York, and they're a drop shipper for us. They hold inventory, and we send them orders, and they fulfill. Yes.
You say we. Do you have employees?
I don't. I have a few people that started the business with me. I'm the only one currently in this area, so I guess I run all the day-to-day operations. I have a graphic designer that helps me out with some social media posts and to create content like that. But
And also, do you increase the price of the product in order to be able to make the donation?
no, we don't.
Or
Nope.
Where does that come from then?
So that simply comes from from buying at wholesale and then selling at retail. So no, we don't increase the cost of any of the products. It's just that we run a lean business, so we can use that 10% to hit these goals and to actually give back.
So do you have a profit margin then that you have to attain to be able to, make salary and whatever?
I mean, yeah, there would be. I mean, to sustain the business, there is a.
I mean, you don't have to give the number. I'm just curious how, you've got how you have that work.
Yeah, but I mean, so this would be our example of our financial summary. So 58% of the cost you pay was to pay for the product. 10%, right? That was the give back percentage. And then you have like cost of software, you have shipping and processing fees, advertising expense, and then actually in December we were able to. So we made a profit of 12%, and 9% of that we polled our community and said, what nonprofit do you want us to support this month? And so they submitted requests, and then we voted, and that 9% was a donation at the end of the month. And so that the 3% is what we retained. Yes.
Where are you located at? Peoria?
I live in Washington.
Washington?
Yep. Yeah.
What's your background?
I studied accounting and finance in college, and then I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers for 3 years, primarily here on the CAT corporate audit. And I still do some contract work for Pricewaterhouse. Yes.
That kind of answered my question, but I was wondering, did it take you a long time to get to this point? Like, how long have you been working on this? Because I know there's a lot of regulations and legal stuff you have to implement.
Right. Yeah. So I had the idea 2 Novembers ago, and then I actually quit my job in accounting in March of 2015, and spent, I guess, 6 months building the website, refining the idea, lining up vendors, and all of that, and then I launched in December 2015.
Was there agreements with the agencies and nonprofit partners? Did that take a long time?
Yeah, that was probably the hardest part, was finding a nonprofit partner that's able to do what I wanted to do. So able to have a goal for each of my causes. So so for example, the hunger one we talked about, $45. But so for water, as an example, every time we raise $59 or sell $590 worth of product, it's $25 for a portion of a well, but it's then we give it to the ACF International, and then they remit it to this goal.
So what's your marketing strategy? How do people know about ShopAffect?
Right now it's been a lot of just guerrilla marketing, a lot of social media. It's really just I've been trying to create content. So whether through blogs or Instagram and Facebook posts, we haven't scaled up and spent money on a large scale on advertising. We do some in Google Ads. Kind of for the cards, we focus on cards for Google Ads, and then we've done Facebook promoted posts. But we haven't spent a lot of money on advertising. It's just been more of a let's build a base, right? Let's start to get content out there. Let's build a brand, and then scale it up from there. Yep.
Is it entirely online? I know you have the cards here, but like, do you have a vision of possibly signing up like at a music festival or somewhere that you can kind of get your name out and people could actually come and look through the t-shirts and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, currently it's entirely online. I mean, the cards I actually make in my house, so it's pretty simple. But definitely that's a way that I want to go with it. This year, especially in 2016, I'm going to look for different opportunities to better get the name out there, to go to fairs like you said, and just to show our products and even show some of the vendor products. Definitely. Yes.
That'd be a good way to meet new vendors too. Also, do your partners help, like to her point, market for you?
I mean, they have ShopAffect listed oftentimes just on their site as, you know, another place you can buy products. Some social media interaction. Outside of that, no, not. I mean, there's no agreements that I've worked in or anything like that at this time. Yep.
Sorry, it's my first time.
Oh no, ask away.
Do you do much email marketing? Like, do you have a very big list, or is it primarily the social media?
Yeah. We have started an email list. There's a place on our website where you can sign up, where and I guess a piece of our email marketing is if you do it in your email and allow for marketing, every time that we hit a goal, so all the orders that were made up of that goal, you get an email saying, you know, your order was a part of, you know, the Cause Hunger goal, and this is what happened. And then also we send out, say, our monthly financial statements, or we send out any kind of deals we're having or anything like that. So yeah, the email list is part of our marketing strategy.
So do you use an email platform where you can kind of get an idea of the type of customers who spend more and the type of customers who interact more as far as like analytics?
Yeah, so I use Google Analytics and then MailChimp for actually sending out the emails. And through that, you're able to track and see, you know, who actually opened the email, who clicked through the emails, who made purchases on the back end of the emails. So we do have that visibility to see what campaigns work and what campaigns don't work.
I would think that student population would be a good target market. You know, I'm looking at some of your products and just the idea that generation seems to be more, very concerned
For
about
sure, yep.
what's going on in the world and things like that. So that I would think that would be a good target.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's a big opportunity there. Yes.
Where are you going to be in 5 years?
5 years. Man.
What's your vision for the company in 5 years?
My vision for the company, it is really to first scale out the shop and really build it into, and I know I touched on GoAffect briefly, but really build it into a platform that people can use, where they can find opportunities to have an impact at a local or international level, to connect together, and also just like kind of talk about like the ShopAffect Marketplace is the first iteration of an idea of impact through everyday action. And that's kind of where the focus of the company is. It's on how can we make a difference together, how can we truly have an impact, and so it's kind of coordinating people and also definitely building out the shop as well, and creating new product lines, my own product lines, building out the ShopAffect brand, and just really taking whatever opportunities come.
Are any of the organizations that you work with to receive the products or whatever, are they in the United States or are they all in Africa?
Yeah, so most of them, or all of my vendors are from United States companies. The the one vendor that I use, which is the one that I use for fair trade goods, they do source from all over the world. But that kind of makes it easier for me because it's, a one-stop shop for them, and then I can pick which fair trade products I want, and all those products say who was the maker, what part of the country where these made from, and it gives you a background of the person that made it, or the entity in Africa that made it, and how they support their workers and that kind of thing.
So as far as the recipients, though, those that would be on the end of receiving, are they all in other countries?
Yeah, yep. They're
No people in the United States?
no, not right now. Nope. Yep.
So you don't carry much inventory? Right?
Nope. Not a whole lot.
So if this thing starts growing really quickly, what would be the first hire or two?
First hire or two?
Yeah.
It would definitely be, first hire would definitely be on the content side. Yeah, because that's hard to, I can run the back end of the business just fine, but that plus content plus everything kind of gets hectic. And putting out quality content is really the most important for my brand currently. Just sharing what we have and advertising through that way. So it'd be on the content side. Yep.
I'm curious what the market looks like for the customers that you've had so far, based on your market research. Are these more affluent, price-insensitive customers that just want to be able to do some good? Are they younger people that care mostly about the product and then being able to give is a bonus? What's the real purchasing motivation?
Right. Yeah. So, and both of those are definitely targets that we're trying to shoot for, but it has been just more affluent people that are interested in buying a product and doing something else. Because you're buying the product for the same amount, but there's this baked-in 10% give back. So it's really just people making a decision that, yeah, we can buy something here, or we can buy it here, and here you have an impact. Yep.
So I know you said you're very transparent. Do you spend a lot of money on marketing? I know you said it's mostly like social media promotions, but do you use lead pages, or have you done any, I guess my idea was, have you maybe sent people out to those countries to meet the people who you're actually impacting, who are benefiting?
No, we have not done that yet.
Can you repeat the question?
It was kind of a loaded question, but as far as like content strategy, I was just thinking about how Pencils of Promise, I don't know if you know much about them, but they have some really cool videos of how they have impacted communities with their work, and I was just wondering like if you have a budget yet to do that kind of stuff where you're actually going internationally and meeting the people who, or do you even know these individuals? Can you see a connection to the individuals that you're helping?
Right. So, great question. No, at this point we have not been able to make that step, mostly due to funding and keeping it on a limited budget. Right. It is expensive to make those trips, but through our partnership with ACF International, we are able to have some visibility towards what happens, or we can talk to them and see what they're doing, where they're doing it, and what we're supporting. And getting on the ground level is something definitely in my vision of what could come of this. But no, not at this level. We don't have the funds or to pursue that route at this time.
Maybe in 5 years?
Oh yeah, definitely in 5 years. Yep.
Are there any competitors that do a similar thing to what you do about giving back some of their profits? And if so, what makes your site better than theirs?
Right. When I think about the cause marketing space, mine is, I guess, ShopAffect itself is kind of a holistic view on the cause advertising, where there's a lot of companies that I see which will say, we'll donate a portion of our profits to an organization, which to me is, there's a lot of different ways you can get down to the final profit number. So to me, the way we do it with gross sales is, it's very simple. It's transparent on the front. And then there's also quite a few companies that incorporate social sustainability into their business model, where they're doing something, a product that does something, right? Tom's is the easiest example that everybody knows about. It's a one-for-one shoe company. But to get down to the granularity of what that actually means to them, is it a marketing strategy, or how much of how much are they actually giving back, right? The cost to produce that shoe and how it's done. That I think that we can do better than anybody else by being transparent and showing what is happening, what you're actually doing, and kind of connect it from one end to the other.
Do you expect to change the organizations that you partner with on the receiving end of the funds based on either conditions in the countries or exchange rates or other ways that your dollars could be optimized?
Yeah, that's definitely a part of the 5-year plan. Is yes, seeing how we can make the most impact, seeing what our community wants, and kind of trying to increase the outlets that we could give to as we scale up. Initially, it's not really feasible due to the legal costs of getting into these agreements and sustaining them. But that's definitely something long term that I would like the flexibility to be able to do. Yep.
Did you start with your own capital, or did you do any crowdfunding, or did you do fundraisers?
No, it was all self-funded. It was all my own capital. Yeah, so I worked for a few years, worked for 3 years, and then saved up enough money to get it launched. Yep.
Are there any partnerships out there that would make this thing explode instantly? Like if you had a foot in the door at a certain company that could either help you advertise or even take you over, or maybe a vendor that could throw you better products or more products that would really make this explode?
I would say it would be on the advertising side.
Yeah.
I think that from like a vendor side, it's not that everybody I talk to would be 100% willing, but I actually haven't had anybody who's like, no, we don't want to sell through your side or anything like that, because it really works out for them because it exposes them to kind of a market of people who are already interested in a socially conscious product, and it gives them brand visibility. But definitely as far as content side, advertising side, that would help a lot, just to get the name out there, to get the word out there. But yeah, so that's where I could see the biggest possible benefit coming from. Yep.
I work with a lot of companies developing wellness programs, and as wellness programs evolve in the corporate world, especially with the millennial generation and, maybe a little younger than mine, but even still mine, people want to work for companies that are socially conscious.
Yep.
And, create that culture of wellness and balance. So I'm wondering if maybe you could approach some companies to see if they would include that in some sort of offer, your business in some sort of offering to their employees, that they would be aware of it. And they could say this is part of our wellness culture, is that we want to support, and help other people, and this would be one option.
Yeah, I do see that as a great possibility. Thank you for the suggestion.
Any more?
I do. What does that cause jobs?
Cause jobs. Yeah, so this is so basically so the cost of the cause jobs goal is $69, and it's a seed and toolkit that gets sent to a family, so it provides them kind of a sustainable sustainable stream and of food, and then also a way to sell extra food, I guess, right?
Thank you very much for your presentation, and learned quite a bit and a lot of good questions going on. But the final question we always ask is, what can the people sitting right here looking at you do to help you get to your next goal or get over your next hurdle?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing for me would just be to support ShopAffect by following ShopAffect, purchasing from ShopAffect, just treating it as just a place to look. And so we have some cards here. You're welcome to come grab one. They're cards that we've designed and printed out. But it's just, and then any ideas that you can think of either at the for ShopAffect or the GoAffect idea of what can we do in the community to come together. And whether it's just, the idea of GoAffect could just be picking up a piece of trash or sending a card or, calling somebody for encouragement, but just to kind of get that movement out there. The idea that people can go do something in a very simplistic manner and just kind of integrate it in our lives. So that's the overall goal of ShopAffect.
Great.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
The reason why I don't shop online is because of the hackers. I mean,
Mhm.
computers are being hacked into all the time.
Sure.
And that's the only reason why. Are you 100% proof and green?
Yeah, so we have website security through and payment security through Shopify, which is a big, it's an online place where you, I guess, like kind of launch your business and they process payments, and we also process payments through PayPal. So we do have a secured system. So it's not like I just built a website and I'm hosting it out of my house.
All right, very good.
Thanks.